Welcome to the history of communication. We will show you how communication has evolved over time. Let's start at the very beginning of human civilization, 10,000 years ago.
Back then, communication was difficult. Cavemen used to make their own language and use facial expressions to communicate with others.
A couple hundred years later, the printing press was invented during 1425. It was a great way to broadcast news from around the city.
In 1830, three people created the first prototype of a telegraph that used Morse code. Morse code was unheard of at that time, became popular, and by World War II everybody was using it.
In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell invented the first telephone. People can now talk to others around the world. Nowadays, people use the more high-tech phones, such as the iPhone.
Around 30 years later, the radio was invented by an Italian. The radio was a revolutionary way to inform people about the news and to entertain listeners on separate channels. Nowadays, radios are now usually found inside cars.
The first TV broadcast was made in 1925, but the television itself was very expensive and was unreliable. They became normal to have inside houses by around the 1960s.
In 1985, Ray Tomlinson sent himself the first email. The email is now a revolutionary way to communicate to people without having to wait months to receive a letter from a friend.
In the 1990s, Sir Tim Berners-Lee from the UK coded the first ever website. Shortly after that, many people started making more websites on the new World Wide Web. Then came the search engine to help you find so many new web pages that showed up.
Then Google was introduced to the internet, the most revolutionary search engine. Google is the most popular and most used search engine since it came out in 1997. In 2005, Google released YouTube, a way to share and post your favorite videos online.